Hey, welcome back. Or if you're new here, good to have you. I'm Agent Monahan, and this is the channel where we take the topics you've always meant to look into but never got around to, history, science, economics, politics, and break them down in plain language. No jargon, no filler. If that sounds like your kind of channel, hit subscribe and tap the bell. Now, let's get into it. Here's something almost nobody is taught in school. For most of the 20th century, Iran and Israel were not enemies. They were quiet, careful, extremely useful friends. Iranian oil fueled Israeli cars. Israeli engineers built projects in Tehran. There were direct flights between Tel Aviv and the Iranian capital. You could literally buy a ticket. And then, almost overnight, all of it vanished. To understand the friendship, you need Israel's problem in 1948, a brand new country surrounded by Arab states that did not want it to exist. So Prime Minister Ben-Gurion came up with a clever idea, the Periphery doctrine. If the countries next to you are hostile, make friends with the ones beyond them. Turkey to the north, Iran to the east, Ethiopia to the south. In 1958, they formed a partnership Israel called the Trident. Running Iran was Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. He was modernizing at breakneck speed and wanted Western friends. Israel fit perfectly. So Iran recognized Israel, quietly, the second Muslim-majority country in the world to do so. Note the word quietly. Publicly, the Shah still stood with other Muslim nations on Palestine. But behind the curtain, the cooperation was enormous. After the 1967 war, Arab states cut Israel off from oil. Iran quietly stepped in. They built a joint pipeline, the Eilat-Ashkelon line, carrying Iranian oil across Israel and onward to Europe. El Al ran direct flights between Tel Aviv and Tehran. Israeli firms built in Iran. Iranian students studied in Israel. And then the really secret stuff. A joint military program, codenamed Project Flower, developing a missile together in the late 1970s. So, what happened? The short answer is 1979. The Shah was overthrown by a revolution led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. The monarchy vanished. In its place, the Islamic Republic. A very different kind of state, with a very different worldview. Khomeini had denounced Israel for years from exile, calling it the Little Satan, the United States being the big one. Now in charge, the words became policy. Within weeks, the Israeli embassy in Tehran closed. The keys were literally handed over to the Palestine Liberation Organization. Yasser Arafat flew to Tehran and was given a hero's welcome in the very building Israeli diplomats had worked in a few months earlier. The oil stopped flowing. The flights stopped running. Project Flower withered, appropriately enough for something called flour. Here's the takeaway, and it matters for how you read almost any conflict in the news. Nations aren't born enemies. They become enemies because of a specific regime, a specific decision, a specific moment. Iran and Israel were useful to each other for 3 decades. Not friends in the sentimental sense, but partners. Oil for technology, security for recognition, quiet handshakes behind closed doors. One revolution didn't just change Iran's government, it rewrote Iran's foreign policy from scratch. That's worth remembering because it cuts both ways. If hostility can appear that fast, in theory it can fade that fast too, although nobody sensible is holding their breath. The map you see today is not the map that has always been. It's the map one specific year drew. That's all for today. Hope that actually made sense of it. If you found it useful, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you catch the next one. Agent Monahan will see you soon.